Thank you for your interest in the Community Parks Framework project. We will start the presentation with a land acknowledgement. The City of Edmonton acknowledges the traditional land on which we reside is in Treaty 6 territory. We would like to thank the diverse Indigenous peoples whose ancestors' footsteps have marked this territory for centuries, such as Nehaya, Dene, Anishinaabe, Nakota Iska, and Niitsitapi people. We also acknowledge this as a Métis homeland and the home for one of the largest communities of Inuit south of the 60th parallel. It is a welcoming place for all people who come from around the world to share Edmonton as a home. Together, we call upon all of our collective, honored traditions and spirits to work in building a great city for today and future generations. In this presentation, we will note the history of the Neighborhood Park Development Program known as NPDP. We will provide an overview of the proposed Community Parks Framework, and we will share information on the next steps for this project. The type of parks this framework will apply to are community parks. We would like to define the term community parks so we all have the same understanding. Community parks are one of 6 types of parks defined in BREATHE, Edmonton's Green Network strategy. Community parks are an important part of the city's green network. These parks are located within almost every neighborhood and are designed to meet the social and recreation needs of the residents of the community. Often these parks are named for the neighborhood. Community parks also may include community leagues or schools, and may also be managed under a joint use agreement. Community parks could include a variety of physical amenities such as playgrounds, walking paths, shade shelters, seating, trash bins, skateboard elements, bike racks, signage, plantings, natural assets, and splash pads. For example, in Lynburn, you will find 2 community parks. Lynburn Park is co-located with Lynburn School and Collingwood Lynburn Community Hall. It has a playground along with amenities such as bike racks, garbage cans, walkways, and landscaping. Monsignor Walter Fitzgerald Park is co-located with St. Martha's School and has amenities such as a playground and spray deck along with typical support elements. Nearby is Collingwood District Park, which is different from a community park and serves many neighborhoods including Lynburn. It offers amenities such as premier sports fields, a dogs off-leash area, a spray park, and a skateboard park. Currently, the development and renewal of community parks occurs through the Neighborhood Park Development Program, more commonly referred to as NPDP, which was established in 1983. The program is nearly 40 years old and has remained largely unchanged. There are some fundamental challenges with equity, consistency, and community capacity in the current NPDP program. Looking at the big picture, we are proposing to replace NPDP with the Community Parks Framework. The Community Parks Framework reflects the city's commitment to creating thriving community parks for all Edmontonians through equitable access, consistent delivery of park amenities, and community involvement, ultimately enabling a better life for all Edmontonians. You may be asking why change is needed. The need for change is to improve equity, ensure policy alignment, optimize our investment, and make sure a more strategic approach is taken to community park development. Currently, the development and renewal of community parks is through NPDP. This program relies on partnerships with the community. Community groups are active participants working with a team of city staff through all phases of a park development project and are financial partners. This places significant demands on communities requiring a lot of time, effort, and fundraising ability. This also has the unintended consequence of creating inequity. Neighborhoods with more volunteer time and fundraising ability benefit from NPDP. Some neighborhoods have accessed the program multiple times, whereas others have not accessed funding for over 12 years. As a healthy city, it is important that all Edmontonians have equal access to quality community parks and play spaces. As we look to optimize investment, some amenities are being renewed before the end of their life cycle, while the renewal of other amenities are long overdue. In terms of policy alignment, the current program is based on first come, first served. There is a need to develop and renew our parks in alignment with our city's guiding documents, such as Connect Edmonton, the City Plan, BREATHE, GBA+, and the Infrastructure Asset Management Policy and Growth Framework. Building upon the theme of equity, this map illustrates that there are some neighborhoods accessing NPDP multiple times, as shown by the darker orange colors, while there are some neighborhoods who have not accessed funding in the past 12 years, as seen by the white color. As access to MPDP differs, the rates of renewal will be different, and consequently, access, type, and condition of community park amenities will vary throughout the city. No other city assets are managed in this way. We have been working to create a framework that will guide the development of community parks. As mentioned, this framework is proposed to replace the current MPDP program. So far, we have engaged with city staff involved in community park development and researched how municipalities across North America build and renew their park amenities. Now, we are seeking input from external partners and stakeholders. This new framework aims to be future-focused, be strategic and equitable, optimize our investments, and continue collaboration with communities. A vision statement captures where we aspire to be. The vision for the framework is that Edmonton's community parks will foster the well-being of individuals by enabling all to engage in meaningful, equitable, accessible outdoor experiences and activities. The guiding principles are core values. Guiding principles are planning, partnering, placemaking, and preserving. Strategic priorities are actions to achieve our vision and guiding principles. Our strategic priorities are to support diversity, redefine how we plan and invest in community parks, and explore new approaches to partnerships and investments. The Community Parks Framework, replacing MPDP, will take an intentional and purposeful approach to planning park amenity projects with a goal of providing all Edmontonians with access to a variety of quality park amenities. We are proposing to redefine where community park amenities will be located based on what is of utmost priority to the city and citizens. We have categorized community park amenities into core, secondary, specialty, and community-led and defined their placement throughout the city. Core amenities are proposed in every community park as funding allows. These amenities could include playgrounds and also supporting amenities such as garbage cans, seating, access walkways, bike racks, landscaping, initial site development such as grading and seating, trees, a park name sign, and sports field fixtures such as soccer and baseball. Secondary amenities won't be found in every community park, but are valued amenities that should be accessible across the city. The location of secondary amenities is proposed to follow the city plan districts. In other words, while not in every community park, these amenities should be found at minimum within each of the 15 city districts. Secondary amenities could include spray parks, bike bumps, sledding hills, skate park elements, shade shelters, and basketball courts. The third category is specialty amenities. These amenities are proposed within city districts, but represent rare or unique amenities that are opportunity-driven or provided on an as-needed basis. Examples include interpretive signage, wayfinding signs, fitness equipment, BMX Bike Challenge Park, and art elements. The placement of other amenities, such as dog off-leash areas, will be guided by existing city strategies such as the Dogs in Open Spaces strategy. Community-led amenities located within lease, license, or areas covered by maintenance agreements such as community halls, ice rinks, community gardens, and changeable copy signs are delivered through a separate process that will not be changed by the Community Park Framework. In the proposed Community Park Framework, community groups will no longer be responsible for undertaking projects to develop core and secondary community park amenities. The city will fund and undertake playground and other community park amenity projects. The next aspect of the new approach is optimization of investments. Under the proposed framework, we will use a data-driven approach, meaning making decisions based on data analysis and interpretation. Through this purposeful and intentional approach, community park amenities will be renewed or developed when it is required. Projects can be coordinated, such as when neighborhood renewal is occurring, and projects will be developed in consideration of long-term maintenance costs. To do this, first, we will identify target levels of service for each category of amenity. Target levels of service are goals relating to frequency and quality of amenities. An example of a target is establishing the percent of people who should have access to an amenity within a certain distance. This will allow us to identify gaps and where we are not meeting the target levels of service. Those areas, neighborhoods, or districts where gaps have been identified will then be prioritized using a decision-making process that considers criteria such as access and distribution, age and condition, social factors, and the development of new schools or neighborhoods. Prioritization of projects will be done by the city for each budget cycle, which would be consistent with how other city assets are managed. The proposed Community Parks Framework will allow the city to schedule projects, allocate resources, and find efficiencies. The new framework aims to reduce the amount of time it takes to complete projects. Currently, NPDP projects can take from 2 to 5 years or more. We hope to reduce that to 2 years. The final component is collaboration with community. In this new framework, community engagement and involvement will be critical to project success. However, as noted, funding from the community will no longer be required. Community input will be sought to ensure Community Park meets the needs and reflects the uniqueness of each neighborhood. We will invite the community to support decision making and provide feedback on design solutions. As we further build out the process in this new framework, we'll identify with our partners methods of how best to engage and involve them in the projects. The city will also continue to build community partnerships as we look to add specialty amenities and continue working with the development industry. This new framework also brings new opportunities for community. Fundraising previously done for park development can now be directed at other community initiatives and community-led projects. As in this new framework, the community will no longer be required to fundraise for core and secondary amenities. Public engagement for this project is at the advised level. Following stakeholder engagement, we will share a What We Heard document that summarizes our key findings. Input will be used to refine and finalize the framework. This work will support the development of the 2023 to 2026 capital budget. If funding is secured, we will work with community groups as we transition to the new framework. As the proposed framework is not yet approved, the existing NPDP program will operate as usual. There are currently a number of NPDP projects in progress. The proposed framework, if advanced, will identify a plan for projects currently underway, and we will work directly with our community partners on this transition for their projects. The framework is planned to be put into effect with a new budget cycle that runs from 2023 to 2026. We are currently working on the implementation details and anticipate there will be a phased approach. In summary, the Community Parks Framework will allow us to support placemaking with continued involvement from the community, delivering quality community park amenities across the City of Edmonton. If you would like to find out more information as the project progresses, we refer you to the project webpage, edmonton.ca/Community Parks Framework. If you have questions about this project, please use the comment section on the website.